This podcast is part of the No Phony Podcast Network, the home of independent awesomeness.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of On the Road with Jim and Casey. Joining me, as always, the small-shouldered, limp-wristed, just small in stature little guy, Jim Morganti.
All right, guys, let's ride.
So before we get started, I would just want to do an ad for our sponsor, Gatekeepers Online. I'm just going to do a quick share screen here. You go to gatekeepersonline.com and then go to their store. And any one of these books here, you can get The Church and State, Social Injustice, 5 Steps to Kill a Nation, Upside Down America, and Why I'm Pro-Life. Any one of these books that you order, if you use the code On the Road at checkout, you'll get 10% off of any of these books. So check them out. gatekeepersonline.com/store. Do you have anything to say about these books, Jim?
What was that promo code again?
The promo code is at checkout. It's one word, On the Road.
Okay, for 10% off?
Yes, 10% off.
Okay. Yeah, guys, check this out. Again, I've always said if these books are really extremely well written and documented and sourced. If you believe in love, if there's people out there that believe in love over death and hatred, Jesus, building stuff, creating things, inspiration, beauty, true intelligence instead of intellect. Because as we all know, intelligentsia, gents is the combination of the left and right brains, bringing them together. That's intelligence. Intellect, as we all know, is left or right thinking. This is bringing the minds together. This is true intelligence. You'll love this book if you love love and creating things and building Jesus. You might not like it if you love hatred and death and destruction and getting angry at people. You might not like it then.
Which book exactly are you talking about? Because I've scrolled through 4 of them.
But I would say Social Injustice, Church and State. I would look at them all. Upside Down World, you know what I mean? Like how everything's inversion. Why we have to write back. Sometimes you have to read stuff backwards. Like and is actually DNA. There's so much, Casey.
So you're kind of just like making this all up. You haven't actually looked at any of these books, is what you're saying.
I've briefly read the title of the books. Yes.
Well, don't be like Jim. You can actually go to gatekeepersonline.com/store, check out all of these different books. There's Social Injustice, 5 Steps to Kill a Nation, Church and State, Upside Down America, and Why I'm Pro-Life. And if you go to the checkout and use code On the Road, that's one word, On the Road, you can get 10% off of your order. That's gatekeepersonline.com/store and promo code On the Road at checkout.
Yeah, again, if you love Jesus and blessings, prosperity, happiness, serenity, peace, you'll like the books. You really will. If you love Satan, you might not agree with it. If you love Beelzebub, the Prince of Darkness, Antarctica, Tartarus, you might not like it.
All right, so tell us about our guest today, Jim.
Well, Case, today we were prepared. Guys, we don't just Casey doesn't just send me a link to the person that we're having on today a half hour before the show. We actually do in-depth hours of research getting to know the people, watching their books that they movies that they write. You know,
Watching their books that they write.
the movies. Okay, well, they do begin by books, by writing. They do, you know. Yeah, today's guest, Gregory Lamberson. No T, capital Lamberson. He's a multiple award-winning filmmaker and author who specializes in the horror generation, regeneration, putting it together. Guys, I've been studying etymology recently. Perhaps best known for the 1988 midnight movie cult classic Slime City. His most recent films as horror director include the supernatural thriller Widow's Point, starring Craig Schaefer. Not to be confused with Craig T. Snyder, which was on Coach, right?
Yeah, I mean, how would you even confuse that? It's not even.
I thought it was the same guy.
The name is the same.
Craig Schaefer. It sounds like the guy from Poltergeist. Johnny Gruesome. And guys, I've watched Widow's Point. I liked it. I like the actors were good. The guy had a man bun, which I like. I don't have no. Am I the only one that's against guys wearing that's not against guys wearing man buns?
I don't know. We can ask Greg about it. He's here. Are you ready?
He has good posture too. His actor, I'm assuming it's Craig Schaefer. Good posture, strong jaw too. The way he talks, the way his mouth moves is good.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Happy Friday, Greg.
Good weekend.
Yeah. Here's to the weekend. Yeah, man. I watched the Widow's Point movie. I was just talking about the actor in it. So Craig Schaefer is the lead actor, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah, good choice. Good posture, I've noticed. You know, he stands up straight. You know, I'm a fan of the man bun. I was just saying, man bun. I don't hate man bun. Like I like am I the only one that's like, okay, cool, man. You know, you got man bun.
Well, it's funny. The end result is funny, not the setup. But Craig had left Hollywood to basically be nursemaid to his brother, who was an Emmy-winning writer and producer. And he left Hollywood to take care of his brother for 5 years. His brother died last December. But he was basically holed up in the house they grew up in Pennsylvania. When I contacted him and I said, I know what you're going through right now, but if you can get away for a couple of weeks, I'd love to have you in this movie. He read the script. We made a deal that night. A couple of weeks go by because we shot soon after. And I said, hey, can you send me a photograph of yourself to give to the makeup people so they can plan your hair? And he goes, okay. And he sent me a selfie that basically looks like he does in the film when he's gone crazy. You know, it was just everywhere. So we decided during that conversation, okay, we'll slick it back and put it in a ponytail or something for when you're in a normal state of mind. And then when you lose your marbles at the end, we'll let it go to what you have now.
Awesome. Wait, what part of PA was he in? Because, I mean, we're in Reading, Pennsylvania.
York.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right down the road.
Casey was just there, which he didn't even ask me to go. He knows I like car rides, right? He knows I don't have anything to wake up for in the mornings. And he just went to York, I'm assuming for some sort of work-related trip.
No, well, Craig is gone now. He was there for almost 6 years. And then, like I said, his brother passed away in December. And I think in March, he went back to LA, to start up his career again. And then everything shut down.
Mm-hmm. So about this, well, it's good to have him back. I'm sorry for his loss. It's very sad, especially with a brother, So what? Getting onto your movie, promoting the your movies. What gets you into the horror? Like, is this something you grew up with? Is this something you're into the spiritual realm? Some weird stuff happened to you as a kid. What got you into it?
I don't believe in anything but science. I'm not into that paranormal stuff at all. But I've loved monsters for as long as I can remember. When I was 3 years old, I used to watch a cartoon, and this is back in the days when you got, you had 3 TV channels and you had a pair of scissors sticking into the channel changer. And I watched a cartoon called The Herculoids, and that was the beginning for me. I've loved monsters ever since.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I mean, I try to talk to demons, not summon them, but I try to have dominion over them in case they're here. Some people call it talking to yourself. I call it, crushing demons and pursuing goals.
Well, my philosophy in life is you never know if you don't ask. So always ask.
There you go. Okay. So what part, where are you coming from right now? Are you?
I am in Cheektowaga, New York, which is really the border of Buffalo. We have Buffalo Airport. And the nickname for Cheektowaga is Cheek to Vegas because it's a very Polish community and the people around here go overboard with their Christmas tree lights.
Is that like some sort of competition they have? Like, when you have a neighborhood, everyone's like, oh, did you see what Sheila has?
It's not like the movie with the 2 guys who have the Christmas tree light war, but there are a lot of houses where people have had to have a second power box installed to cover all their lights. And it really is pretty, the first few times it snows to drive around and just see how nuts people go. My family doesn't do that.
Is that where you're originally from?
No, I'm from Fredonia, New York, which is
Okay.
a college town an hour south of here. So Fredonia borders on Dunkirk, and that's where we shot the lighthouse stuff for the movie.
Okay. So how do you get involved with living up in middle of nowhere, New York? How do you get involved with the movie business?
Well, I grew up in Fredonia. I moved to New York City, to go to college. That's where I made my first 3 films, including Slime City. And then after living in New York for 20 plus years, I moved back here with my wife so we could buy a cheap house, start a family. And now we have a booming film community here, which actually I've helped build. We have a lot of film production in the city now.
Nice.
That's sweet. And so that's all you do? You pursue what you love. You don't, I mean, what did you do? Were you just, I'm 22 years old. I'm assuming, college, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to make movies. Is it you just pursued that all your whole life? Or do you also have other things going on? Buying property, real estate?
No, I'm a professional starving artist. I've been an independent filmmaker for 30 plus years. I'm also an author. I've had 14 books published. I run a film festival. I crew on other people's films sometimes when I need cash.
I literally just said I was watching the books that you're writing, and so that makes sense, Casey. Making fun. See how it all comes together?
You hope.
Yeah. So it's a side story of something else. Casey always, has to claim dominance over top of me because he can still bench press more than I can.
Is that why his box is above yours?
Yes. He needs to be on top.
Or do you take turns?
He when he edits everything, he just makes sure that he wins in all realms of the podcast.
Like He-Man, he has the power. It's all in the editing.
Every time. Okay. I want to get back to your movies here so we can make sure that I wanted to ask this before we getting into this. I was looking at Killer Rack. I'm sorry. Killer Back's something that I would
It's a different movie.
Yeah, something I would say about myself after Back Day. Taking a selfie, sending it to a couple of people on Instagram. But it's the picture that goes away in a second. Anyway, Killer Rack. Important question. Who is the girl on the cover? And what's her Instagram?
That is Jessica Zwolak, the star of the film. I don't know if she has an Instagram account. She learned very soon after we did the movie. She works at a correctional facility, and she started getting strange messages after the trailer for the movie went up. So she took down a lot of her social media.
Well, why do, I mean, yeah, well, hey, you don't need social media to be in acting. A lot of people don't know that. They're like, oh, you're not part of, you know what I mean? Like, you can just be an actor and not be really.
You can actually do the craft and not worry about the social media aspect.
Right. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, we talked
Like-
to. I have another podcast called Deluxe Edition, and we talked to Richard Reilly. He's been in 414 different television shows and movies, and he has no idea what a lot of social media is.
Yeah. Well, look, it can become very time consuming. I mean, I'm home and I write from home, I work from home, and I'm on Facebook way too much, but I try to not go overboard on all the other ones because then it would become my life.
Sure. So tell us about some of your books.
Pardon?
Tell us about some of your books.
Sure. I have a series. I have a series of books called the Jake Helman Files. It's an occult detective, sort of a cross between Constantine and Mike Hammer. And all 6 of those books are under option as a possible TV series. Every year goes by, every time a year goes by, we re-sign the contract because something positive happens. Whether or not it ever really happens, we'll see. The guy who has the rights is George Mihalko, who did the original My Bloody Valentine. And right now he's in Hungary for 2 years doing an $80 million fantasy TV series. So
Wow.
Nothing will happen with my project until he gets back.
Wow.
I did a trilogy of werewolf novels. I did a horror novel called Black Creek, which is about Love Creek, New York, Love Canal, about these cannibals that come up from underground during a winter snowstorm. And I novelized a script that I wrote when I was 18 years old called Johnny Gruesome. And then later, like 30 years after I wrote the script, I actually made that into a movie.
You know, you said earlier that you don't believe, or you're a science guy, right? But you love werewolves and all the spookies and all that stuff. I believe it was Niels Bohr, which you might know better than I could, that he's a Danish physicist, was the one that said the things that you can't see are more real than the things you can see in the quantum spiritual realm, where like we're all trying to get to for some reason, even though it's smaller than us and doesn't have biceps, but we're all like whoosh, trying to get there, you know, meditating, and I'm so spiritual, like that, right? I mean, I'm not trying, I'm debating you for a second on this.
What I know about science is that 2 people should not step onto the same transporter disc and beam down to a planet at the same time. And that it's very bad that the polar bears are running out of places to live. It's a bad sign for all of us. That's pretty much the extent of my scientific knowledge. But I don't believe in ghosts or psychics or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm with you there on psychic. I don't know. I mean, to me, spirits are there, but they're not. They've been here the whole time, and they're trying to hold us down here. And the polar bears, I'm pretty sure they're all in Antarctica. Again, it's tough to prove it right now. The scientists can't really figure out how, but all of the aliens are in Antarctica, like the Superman movie with the spaceship there underneath that. But we're getting there soon.
Hopefully they take pity on us.
Or they probably just want to rule us. I mean, I don't know.
Or eat us.
I mean, well, look, I'm trying to open people up to natural flavor. Greg, okay, do you know what is in natural flavors?
Nature.
And what's of nature? People. Baby parts.
I see.
Yeah, just look it up. It's pretty wild.
I can imagine it's a lot of protein.
Surprisingly, no. It's a lot of their brain parts. I guess, I don't know. I've never eaten brain before, but apparently brains of dead babies is like good. It's like tasting something. I don't know. But hey, that's not me saying this. That's all the hippies that were into the whole free organic, that stuff. They're the ones that exposed this. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't. And it's in
There's always a story behind the story.
Yeah. And okay, all right. So baby parts might taste good, people. We're in America. It's a free country. Yeah. So I like. I think it's interesting that you like the horror genre. I've always liked that too. Let's go to the earliest movie you've ever written was or put a part of was New York Vampire, right?
Slime City would have been my first movie.
Oh, well, it says 91. Okay, that was 2010. Okay.
One is a list of producers, one's a list of directors. So I don't really keep track of which is which. I really produce all of them, regardless of who gets the credit for it. Sometimes if someone puts in a little more money, they want that top producer credit. I don't care. It's fine.
Right.
Just give me the money so I can make my movie.
So are most of your movies, all of your movies are all pretty much independent films, right?
All of them. I'm an independent filmmaker. I usually write them myself. I did not write Killer Rack. I go out and look for the funding myself. I direct them, and it usually takes maybe 2 years to get them finished, get them out there.
Wow.
When you're looking for funding, not that we're trying to find ways to fund our podcast or anything, but how did you find like what's your routes of doing of finding funders and maybe investors, people that like what you say?
Usually there's one person involved who gets the ball rolling. And sometimes that even determines what project I do. But the first one that I did, I mean, we raised $50,000 back in 1988. And the first time we tried to raise money, we completely failed. So we saved our money for a year, 3 partners. And once we had money of our own to put in, we were able to get friends and relatives. Once we showed we could finish a movie, then you can approach people. Sometimes it's really easy, like some people just happen to come together at the right time, and sometimes you can spend a year searching for the right people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Yeah, we're just trying to. I mean, that's cool. I like asking people how they get involved with like creating a movie from its inception. If you don't have the pounds of money or hot chicks to just work for free, it's
now,
hard to.
For a movie, it's a very risky investment, but at least there's that chance that it could break through. I'm not sure what the chance of breaking through is for a podcast, how you entice the investor with making a return on their money. So you might be looking more at a crowdfunding campaign and donations.
Mm-hmm. I was just watching The Chosen. I don't know if you have seen that. It's about our Lord and Savior Jesus. Awesome actor. Great series right now. It's called The Chosen, and it's totally the second season. I think there's 8 episodes, and they're totally self-funding. They're crowdsourcing it for the next.
No, I haven't heard it. I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah. Check it out if you love compassion, serenity, peace, joy, the love of God in your heart. I would check it out. But
I don't like any of those things.
Right. I was just going to say, you might not like it if you love Satan, death, and destroying things. And yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Well, I mean, so before we wrap, you got Widow's Point that's out right now. It's some great acting. Cute girl in it. Dark hair. Innocent looking, reserved. Not really huge boobs, big butt. Probably doesn't squat too much, but like natural curve. I forget her name. I'm trying to find it right now.
I'm guessing Caitlin E. Newberry, but there are a few young ladies in the film.
Oh, that was her?
I believe that's who we're talking about.
Yeah, I was just stalking or researching her Instagram, and I think I just reacted to one of her stories with a laughy emoji, and she opened it and hasn't even messaged me back. Casey, can you make a note? Remind me to bring that up to her. We're doing her. Oh wait, I'm sorry. We should be saying doing. We're interviewing her after this one.
Well, I know she's got a few interviews today, so maybe she's just busy. Maybe she'll get to you later.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's what they all say. All right. Well, before we wrap it up here, tell us, where people can find you, where, any even like something to leave our viewers and listeners with, a word of advice or something for them to remember.
Okay. Well, no one has to follow me. I'm very opinionated, but I don't care if anyone reads those opinionated opinions. They don't need to pursue me on social media at all. However, Wisdom, Widow's Point pre-order price on Amazon is only $8.99. So order it now. Get that DVD by September 1st. Otherwise, put on a mask, go into Walmart. You'll be able to pick it up on the shelf there.
Nice.
Fantastic performances.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Our friend Clyde really likes it too.
Good.
I gave him the screener for it, and he's our movie reviewer. And
Well, I'm glad you said movie reviewer, because when you just said, well, we gave that screener to our friend, I was thinking, oh, great. I love how this press works.
no, he's a reviewer. Yeah, he takes care of our reviews for us.
Excellent.
Thank you, Clyde.
Thanks, Clyde.
All right, man. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to do this, man.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. So thanks a lot, guys, for we had Greg Lamberson. So this is Jim, and as usual, Casey. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.